Hey guys, this is Tor, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 fun commanders to try out with different decks and everything like that. There's, these are 10 that I've chosen personally that I really enjoy. Fun is subjective though, so it's a little bit hard to, say this is the definitive top 10, but I wanted to kind of go through 10 that I'm really enjoying and 10 that, I find fun personally. You might disagree, in which case, that's what the comment section is for. Go down there, tell me I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. I'm happy for you guys to come down there and be like, Torna, what the hell is this? Why? So let me know down in the comments. A couple things first. One, huge thank you to everyone who's subscribed. We're over 500 subscribers, which is our first massive goal here. Our next goal is 1,000. Let's see if we can get there. I'm really looking forward to it. With 500 subscribers as well, we've enabled memberships on the channel. So if you guys want to become a member, feel free. We're going to have it so that people can request a video. So if you want to hear, top 10 dimmer champions or your favorite dinosaur commanders or whatever, just let me know. Go over there, subscribe. So the first one here is going to be Marika. I call her Vi personally. We've built her as a fight champion, and honestly, she's incredibly fun. So if you don't know what she does, basically each turn she must be blocked if able. As long as it's her turn, she is indestructible, and whenever she deals damage to a creature, if it's dealt excess damage, she then makes them sacrifice a non-creature, non-land. So with this, the way I built it is completely around fight. So playing fight cards, she's got green, she's got, the green, there's so many different like fight cards in green there. So I'm just constantly making her fight things, making people sacrifice everything. Built a little bit of Voltron plus like auras and stuff like that. So I'm buffing her up. So that way, worst case scenario, gets to an enemy turn, she's able to block and stuff and be able to, because it's whenever she deals damage to a creature. It's not necessarily whenever she, deals damage on my turn. It's just whenever she deals damage. So therefore fight or blocking is going to be able to proc that as well. She's just really fun for making people sacrifice stuff. I don't know, I guess it's more around her deck, around the fight stuff, and just making her go and pick on things from the enemy. Their commander's built up super strong, just ignore it, go fight something else, and then they're going to potentially have to sacrifice it. Next up, we've got Henri. Henri built around around blitzing stuff out, and then because you have to sacrifice them, you're going to be sacrificing them then, and then you can get some really cool stuff from there. Honestly, Henri is just really fun to kind of blitz big things out, and then they die, and then all of a sudden you're getting some some decent value from having some decent kind of stuff in your graveyard. You could potentially play some reanimating kind of stuff to bring them back as well, depending on what ends up in there. Lots of different ways you can kind of build Henri here. Next one is Zedu, the Great-Hearted. This one's really interesting. So Zedu, you're going to, on your turn, gain life and draw cards based on the amount of permanents you own that opponents control. So there's two different ways you can do this. One is go give things to your opponents and then have them, get goaded or something like that, so then they can't attack you and they have to go and fight each other or something. Or you could give them absolutely awful stuff. This is a way that you can use some of those awful cards to kind of go, here's your present, would you like this? Or there's multiple different ways you can kind of build this around, giving either good stuff, bad stuff. Both will work really well. You've got the activated ability here of being able to actually just give something to someone. So there's lots of really cool stuff you could potentially pull off here with Zedu. We've got Rocco, the Street Chef. So Rocco, at the end of your end step, each player is going to exile the top card of their library. Until your next turn, each player may play the card they exiled this way. So you've got everyone gets to exile something, and then all of a sudden they get to play it on their turn. They get to do some really fun stuff. And meanwhile, you're sitting here, every time they play a card from exile, you're getting a +1/+1 counter and creating a food token as well. The interesting thing here is that with the upcoming junk mechanic and stuff like that, there's going to be lots of stuff going into exile. Red's been focusing a lot on exile lately, so there's lots of stuff where people are going to be you know, exiling stuff, and then you get to get that +1/+1 and the food tokens from there. But also you've got that fun mechanic of everyone gets to top deck something and play it. What will you get? Here, have fun. All right, next up we've got Don Andreas. Don Andreas is obviously the new one from the Ahoy Mateys Precon, and I'm honestly loving him. If you don't know the way he works, basically every creature you control that you don't own, so everything you've stolen away, gets +2/+2, has menace and death touch, and is a pirate. As well as each time you cast a non-creature spell you don't control, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. So you could build this around, you know, more treasure and stuff like that. But the way to build it is theft. Steal stuff. Just take it. You be a pirate. Just go and take everything away, and then just build up your own resources based on stealing stuff from everyone else. There's lots of really cool stuff you can potentially pull off here. This is interesting because one of the cards that came out with the Doctor Who set was the Beast. However, when I saw the Beast, I'm like, this is an absolutely not great card. I do not like this card at all. However, with Don Andreas, you've got the ability to just be able to steal something for 4 mana here, as well as, you know, remove the stun counters from him as well, because you're going to be able to deal the combat damage, and then be able to you're going to be able to untap him pretty easily, because whenever a creature deals combat damage to its owner, you get to untap him, and then you get to draw a card. So, you know, a lot of card draw built into the Beast, as well as just honestly being able to steal something for really cheap here. We've got the 7th Doctor and Ace, so it doesn't matter which one is the companion here. I chose the 7th Doctor because you get to play a game. Basically, you get to choose a card in your hand, and then the defending player, so whoever you're attacking with him, they have to guess if the card you've chosen is higher or lower than, is greater than, so greater or lower / equal to the number of artifacts you control. So if they guess wrong, then you get to play it without playing its mana cost. If they guess right, you know, you don't cast a spell, then you get to investigate, so you get free card draw there. So, well, not free card draw, you get a clue token to be able to do card draw. So, you know, depending on what you've got out there, you could cheat out something like, you know, if you've got 1 artifact, people are more likely to guess, oh, it's higher than that. Then you could potentially cheat out something that, you know, costs 0, or, you know, a soul ring or something like that. There's lots of really cool stuff you could potentially do here, as well as, you know, you're generating more artifact tokens with the clue tokens as well. It's just the number of artifacts you control, not the number of, you know, artifact tokens or artifact, like non-token artifacts. So there's lots of different ways you can potentially build him here. And obviously with, you know, the upcoming set, you've got a lot of like clue token stuff coming up, so 7th Doctor could potentially kind of slot into some of those. We've got the Master Multiplied. Master Multiplied is like the perfect the perfect commander for like a myriad based deck, because it's going to make it so, 1, the legend rule does not apply to creatures you control, and 2, triggered creatures you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. So basically, myriad, the way it works is that after you know, do your attacking and everything, you're meant to get rid of those tokens. With this, you don't need to. You just get to keep them around. However, because of the way Myriad is explained, it is at the end of the next turn, exile the tokens at the end of combat. You get to keep them around, even if you, like, you know, lose your Master Multiplied, you still get to keep them around afterwards, because it's just exile it at the end of that combat. It's not exile it. It's not a state-based, you know, trigger where you need to check every time if you've got multiple of them out. It's just one and done. So, you know, combine it with, you know, the Cyberman Squadron, Daleks, a lot of different cards, you know, or you can go into a whole bunch of those different red cards that are creating tokens around stuff, like Feldron creating the token from your graveyard, and then from there you get to keep it around. You don't need to sacrifice it. You don't need to sacrifice any of them. It's really fun to be able to kind of do that. Unfortunately, it's a little bit expensive in 6 mana, but, you know, you can kind of start building up towards that. We've got Unette, Cryptic, Sovereign. Build it around top decking stuff. anytime you attack with her, you're going to reveal the top card of your library, and then you can cast it without paying us a mana cost if it is an odd mana value. If not, you get to draw a card, which is nice, you know, free card draw. But being able to just, you know, flip out something that's like, oh, let's have a look down here, some of the instants that they've got. Wow, they did not have any of the big instants. Like Nexus of Fate here, you know, 7 mana. Getting to play that for free is just really, really fun. Probably not exactly what people want to do, but if you believe in the heart of the cards, you got Unette there that you can potentially bring along. All right, then the last one here is Zancha, the sleeper agent. So this one's really interesting because the way you play her is you play her and then she enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. You get to choose someone. They get to attack with it each turn if able, but it can't attack you. So, you know, it's goaded permanently. They have to go attack someone else with it. However, the second part here, the activated ability, you pay 3. The controller of Zancha is going to lose 2 life, and then you get to draw a card. However, any player can activate this ability. So it's just really interesting because, you know, you give it to someone else, and then all of a sudden everyone wants that free card draw and, you know, to damage someone. So they're just paying 3 to get the card draw, and then this other person's like, can you just kill it? Just kill it, please. It's also pretty cheap, like only 3 mana for a 5/5, which is really nice. So that's my choices there. I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts are, what decks you guys have been loving, what decks you find the most fun. Make sure you do subscribe. That's it for today. Have a great day and goodbye.